my journey, having all of the so-called diseases that I had that I thought were real diseases at the time. And then, really, really listening to elders that came before me and then starting to apply all that knowledge to oneself, I realized I didn't have a disease at all. My body was trying to heal itself.
Real life. It ain't real life. Just say Reallyfe Street Starz. You know what time it is. Man, we got them back in the building, man. You know that they loving our interactions, Yahki.
All praise, yeah. I seen a few comments. They said this the new Boosie and Vlad.
Yeah.
I'll bug it up, man.
Yeah. But all straight consciousness, all straight.
Definitely, nothing but consciousness and positivity.
Yes, sir. Since the last time you were here, man, the interview got such a great feedback.
Yeah.
Right. You educated everybody. People loved it. You know what I mean? It's so funny. I actually have an artist.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be here today. He actually watched the interview and started buying your supplements.
All praise.
And he lost him and his wife. Both, shout out to Ken Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
They actually had a podcast talking about it. They both look great.
That's
they
good.
both feel like I'm watching their journey, and it's literally all because of your supplements, and they actually listen to what you said and they hit them.
Yeah.
How often do you get to where you do some of these things and you actually receive the feedback of somebody getting their life changed because of the information that you gave them?
All the time. I've been doing this for 15 years. I say out of 15 years, and there's no capping, no clout chasing. Man, I say over 1,500 to 2,000 like official healing testimonies where people took the healing herbs, they took my diet, they followed the lifestyle changes, and they was diagnosed by something from the doctors. They came to see me. They applied the information, took the herbs, and changed their diet. And they come back with their new papers, and it showed that everything that they was diagnosed with, they don't have no more. So about 1,500 to 2,000 of those. Now, we're going to talk about just people in the comments saying, this is what your 3 bitters did for me. This is what your geogenetic package did for me. This is how I felt once I went to H3O2 and I calmed down on water and start juicing more. This is what happened when I switched over into your plant-based ketogenic diet, man. Hundreds of thousands to millions, man, and no exaggeration. So anybody that come to me and apply the information to oneself and they go through the systems and all the knowledge that I put out, is going to change your life. In fact, I tell everybody to come see me at my facility and at my clinic, give me 21 days, I'm going to change your life. Give me 3 months and I'm going to change your world.
That's incredible. 1,500 personal testimonies. That's hard to do.
Yeah, and I'm talking about this is documented, saved up in an actual key file cabinet of them coming to see me with things that they came with. And me, I don't take the credit for healing. The only thing I take the credit for is researching the knowledge and giving you the knowledge. And then you take the credit for the healing because you taking all of this information, you applying it to oneself, and then you're changing your world, you're changing your reality, which is, in the long run, changing your biology. Then you come back from the doctors that diagnosed you with them same papers saying you ain't got it no more. I didn't do nothing but give you the knowledge, give you the diet. I gave you the actual circadian clock that God created. Yeah. I didn't create the schedule. God created the schedule with the sun and the moon cycle. I didn't create the diet. God created the diet by growing all these vegetation, herbs, and fruits from the ground. I didn't create the H3O2 juice. That's a structured water that God does. All you got to do is squeeze your juice. I didn't create the water. The water been here since the beginning. Only thing I did was did the hard research. And I researched these things and I just found a map and I put it all together. And that's the reason, that's really what birthed this book right here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Seriously. So that's why we call it the Bible of Health. I took what the creator did and that we forgotten, that we lost through history, through our biological evolutionary history. And I put it all down on a piece of paper, healed myself with it. Then I just gave it to the world. And through these 15 years of me doing this, I just constantly refined it. That's literally what I did.
Man, so let's talk about this book because I always love when I see my people create a book, because I always feel like coming from us, it's easier for me to digest it because I know you've been through it.
Yeah.
I see myself in you. You know what I mean? So let's talk about this book. It's called Healing the Illusions We Call Disease. That title alone is powerful. Let's start with the title. How did you land on that title?
Well, just going throughout my journey, having all of the so-called diseases that I had that I thought were real diseases at the time. and then, you know, really, really listening to elders that came before me, and then starting to apply all that knowledge to oneself, I realized I didn't have a disease at all. My body was trying to heal itself. And then it comes to find out that all of these things that we call disease is the body's natural biological detoxification pathways. Your body is trying to detox. When your body is detoxing, it's creating these symptomologies. And then these symptomologies, we have been trained for over 150 years that the symptomologies of our body healing itself is a disease. And I teach people this all the time. Like, for instance, if you cough, if you cough, you can feel something happening in your bronchial tubes where you're trying to basically projectile something out of your bronchial tubes.
Right.
You'll go to the store or to the doctor, they'll give you a cough suppressive to suppress all of that mucosa or the irritants or those toxins back into the bronchial tubes. But God made my natural biological cells do something to where something get inside my body where I cough it out. So they say coughing, sneezing, fever, high temperatures, irritated mucosal membrane, and all these things are a part of a virus, right?
Right.
But when you look at a cough is the body's way of getting rid of endotoxins within inside of the bronchial tubes. If you look at a sneeze, that's getting rid of all types of microbes and basically airborne bacteria what's inside of the sinus cavities. If you look at a fever thins out the blood. Not only do it thins out the blood, it increases circulation. And it is well documented that certain bacteria and microbes cannot live in temperatures above 103 degrees Fahrenheit. So we know that our body's supposed to be at 108.6 degrees Fahrenheit, but the body will give itself an induced fever to burn out pathological entities, to thin out the blood, to increase circulation, to bring more oxygen, and to bring more phytonutrients to those areas to heal. They also say that inflammation is the beginning of all disease. But if you look at the inflammation in the body, inflammation is nothing but the localization of pathology. It's basically when the body blocks off a certain part of itself that's lacking energy to bring all of the energy, bring more blood flow, bring more oxygen, bring more amino acids, bring more phytonutrients, bring more phytochemicals to that area to help rebuild that area. So all of these symptomologies that we call in the disease, like skin rashes, again, it's your skin taking a poop. If you look at diarrhea is something inside of your bowels that don't need to be there. So your vagus nerve, which is the 10th cranial nerve of your brain, will relax itself, but you can get rid of all of that congestion that's inside of your stomach, get rid of all those toxicities that's inside of your digestive tract. Right. So whenever you look at all of these different signs and all of these different symptoms, it is your body detoxifying itself. So when I learned to lean into that and help it do its job, which is to detoxify quicker, I noticed that my symptomologies went away quicker. And then when I went back to the doctor, all of those so-called diseases that I was labeled with by the allopathic community, I didn't have them more. They'll have them no more. So all I did from there, I said, well, let me try this on my family members. Let me try this on my community. And then boom, now I'm doing it on the world and they haven't failed yet. So this just shows me that disease is an illusion. We have been tricked that our body's natural capability of healing itself is disease, when it's not a disease at all. Only thing it is the body having symptomologies of opening up detoxification pathways.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move. Hey.